Welcome to Rethinking the Dollar. Today I want to share with you a global currency snapshot of what's happening around the world dealing with money. I want to share with you an article I just wrote, which is entitled Global Currency Demise, Why Every Household Should Be Concerned. And so here in this article I just basically covered some of the main news surfacing around Greece and how Greece is broke and their country has no solutions but eventually to exit the euro, which will cause a ripple effect in the global markets worldwide. And so beyond Greece, one thing the mainstream media does not do a good job of talking about, in my opinion, is the currency fluctuations around the globe due to the strengthening of the United States dollar. And so here I want to share with you briefly an article from Bloomberg Briefs where it talks about other currencies in comparison to the dollar, the US dollar against the world. Here it shows you all the currencies that's being affected and their strength in relations to the dollar. And this chart here is quite startling because it talks about the ruble leads the way down. So the Russian ruble over the last year has lost 40% of its purchasing power against the dollar, which means that every citizen in Russia, their bank account, their savings, their paycheck doesn't purchase as much as it used to. And that goes right on through to Norwegian krone, the Swedish krona, Brazilian real, the euro, the Danish krone, the Czech koruna, the Colombian peso, you name it. All these countries here, all those who have been saving and just dependent upon their local currency is no longer buying what it used to buy because the dollar is rallying. And the dollar being the world reserve currency means every currency for the most part is dependent upon and tied to the United States dollar. And just to give you a little in-depth to how that looks back home at these other local places, here's an article from Russia and India report. And it says the fall of the ruble leads to decrease in the standard of living in Russia. So because the currency doesn't buy much, it causes a reduction in the population's purchasing power. So you go to a grocery store, everything is going up. All your living expenses going up. Your bills, utilities going up. That's what's happening in Russia. Here in Sweden, here's an article from Bloomberg Business. It says Swedish krona tumbles after Riksbank's currency rate cut. And then it says here the Swedish currency depreciated to a 6-year low against the dollar. Depreciated, which means it's losing purchasing power. Here's an article from the Forbes. Brazil's real declines the most in 11 years, wipes billions off the country's riches. So this article here basically talks about all the billionaires are leaving losing money. So this is just news that's happening around the globe. Real short and brief. I'll attach all the articles so you can read it for yourself. But in this article here, I wrote about the fact that in Russia right now, inflation is eating away the purchasing power of the citizens, which means the cost of living goes through the roof. These are just primary examples, in my opinion, of people who don't know the difference between lawful money and fiat currency. I've put together my thoughts in a book that will help you better understand these events so that you can grasp the concepts of monetary literacy here at home in the United States of America. If you're interested, follow the information on this website here, and also look forward to sharing or hearing your comments and your thoughts. Thanks.